All right, a whole 3 weeks later, and I'm back to redesign my personal brand. You guys probably know if you have clients and other priorities in your life, sometimes your personal brand can be put on the back burner, and that has definitely been the case for me. But I'm trying to prioritize making it happen. And in the last video, I shared with you guys the overall design direction of how I want to refresh my personal brand. I decided I wanted to refresh, and I explained it all in that video because I feel a little disconnect with my personal brand. And with that disconnect, I feel like my content and everything that comes with my personal brand has kind of been affected by that. So I definitely want to give it a little refresh. We're not doing a full rebrand, but we're going to be redesigning the website. But in this video specifically, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I'm redesigning the logo, giving it a little bit of a fresher look, and also the brand textures and patterns, because that's a huge thing for me when it comes to social media. I really want to have a good lineup of those types of things. Also, I just have to call it out because I can't stop staring at it. I have the giantest pimple in the middle of my freaking face that just keeps staring at me all day. So let's try to ignore that. I wish I could put like a little emoji there so we don't have to take a look at that, but it is what it is. I'm showing up today. So my branding process, just to kind of give you a little recap again, it contains 4 phases, and I have never taken the time to take myself through those 4 phases. I always do it for my clients, but never for myself. So phase 1 is that design and direction. I'll link that video up here and also in the description so you guys can see that first phase. But the second phase is the logo designs, the brand elements, which is going to be the textures for me. So because we're in phase 2, that means we're going to be focusing on the logo design. This is my current logo. I actually still really like it. I think it really fits my style. I really like the color. I like everything about it, but I just feel like the font can potentially be updated. I want to create a secondary logo option that also has maybe like a script font in it. I always tread lightly with script fonts because I don't want it to be super hard to read, but here's some inspiration of script fonts I really like. They're very easy to read, monoline type style, and I really enjoy those. So I want to take you guys with me as I kind of play around with that style and play around with some ideas of maybe even hand drawing like my signature as a logo. I think that'd be kind of cool. And I also just want to look at my brand icon and element again and just make sure I'm really happy with everything in there. So without further ado, let's go over to my computer and start the logo sketching and brainstorming phase. Every time I start a logo design, I like to sketch out my ideas using Procreate on my iPad. For my logo, like I mentioned, I don't want to change a whole lot, but I do want to play around with kind of like a signature secondary font because I don't know, I love the look of it. I think it adds a touch of personality, and I think that's something that I could use on quite a few different like formats and even on the website. And also, I think it'd be kind of fun to find a font that I like that has that script look to it, because I love like an accent font in a brand where I can use it like in if I'm quoting something on the website or things like that. But yeah, you can see me here just kind of playing around with drawing it out. I was kind of struggling. I am not the greatest with fonts. I don't know. I have a lot of respect for people that can create custom typography because yeah, it's definitely not easy, but this is what I was playing around with, and I decided to just head on over to my computer and start putting things together. So I was finding a few different fonts. I know there's a glare on my computer. I'm trying to figure that out in our office, but these are the fonts I was playing around with, and well, these are the old ones that I used to have. I can't believe it's been 2 years since I created this logo. It's been kind of a long time, and I thought it wasn't that long, but I'm trying to find a few different fonts. So I was using the retype tool on Adobe Illustrator and playing around with that. But these are the fonts that I'm kind of leaning towards, that I like the look of. Still very similar, but slightly different. I also wanted to mention that it's okay to have different fonts in the actual branding versus the logo font. Like it doesn't always have to be the same serif font or sans serif font in the logo and on like the body paragraphs and things like that. So yeah, I'll probably be using the same fonts in the actual like body of the website, that I currently have, but I just wanted to change the logo one. And I'm just changing the colors as well so I can see how this is all looking with my new color palette, which I brought in. And yeah, just kind of playing around with that. I do want to maybe test out a few different script fonts. As you can see, I was kind of searching around for those, but I'm just bringing in that element. I don't think I'm going to change anything to the brand element. Probably be keeping that the same pretty much. So mainly focusing on adding those fonts to it. But yeah, I'm really happy with the element. I was like, it took me forever to create 2 years ago. As you guys know, designing for yourself's not easy. So don't want to change that too much. Okay, so now that I have the logo where I want it, I wanted to create some textures. So I'm using Procreate again on my iPad, and I'm actually doing sort of like lime wash style. So if you've ever looked up like how people do that in their house, in their bedrooms, it's really cool. It adds like texture to the paint and the walls. So I was using that and then like blending it out using the blend tool on Procreate. And I'm pretty excited with how they came out. I think they're very subtle textures, but it's exactly what I was looking for. I also really love the texture limestone, if you look that up. And I think it really has that European kind of touch that I'm really wanting to portray, just because like cobblestone in Europe and the kind of like the ancient like buildings and the textures of the buildings and stuff, I really feel like the limestone will give it that effect. But I wanted to create the textures in a few different colors, so I have quite a few to play with when it comes to like social media. So you can see a little bit better on this one. I was using like a lighter color in my color palette, drawing some like X's and then just like blending it out there. So I just wanted to add all these textures to Canva. Canva is where I pretty much design my social media graphics. I don't use it for anything else besides social media and like presentations, but it does make things so much easier for me to have like a template that I can plug and play like social media ideas, because social media is a lot sometimes, and being able to have some graphics that make it a little easier and like a program that makes it easier to do it fast is ideal. But this is the limestone texture I was talking about. I think it's really cool and definitely the vibe I'm kind of going for. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like. Okay, I finished designing my logo. Like I said, I didn't want to change a whole lot of it. I pretty much just wanted to give it a nice little refresh. But this is how it all came out. I'm really happy with it. And I also like to place the logo in actual designs and stuff that I'll be using it in, just to make sure that I like the overall look of it. And I really do. So I'm excited about that. But I'm really excited for the next episode where I'm going to be showing you guys the full website design. That's going to be a longer video. It's going to dive really deep into basically creating the website from Figma and then turning it into a Framer site and how I'm thinking through that, and also updating the portfolio. So it's going to be a way longer and more in-depth episode, but I'll also show you guys my brand photos and how all that came out in that next episode. But this one was mainly to show you how I'm thinking through the visual direction. Like, I took the direction and the strategy and then turned it into the logo and the patterns and the textures, and nailed down the colors and made sure I like how that looks and how it looks when it's in use as well. But yeah, I'm excited. I think it came together really nice, and I would love to hear what you guys think. If you're still watching this, thank you so much. But if you are still watching this, let me know down below what you think about the logo, how you think it's going to look when it's all put together. It really does come to life gradually, but I think during this logo phase is when it's really important to make sure that you like the logos, fonts, textures, and everything are looking before you go and start to put it in actual deliverables and collateral. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, I'd appreciate it so much if you gave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below. That would mean the world to me. I also just hit 40K, and I am so extremely grateful for each and every one of you and your support. It means the world to me, and I just can't believe we're at 40,000. So exciting. Please subscribe. That would mean so much. But I will see you guys in my next video.